Hello everyone, welcome to my channel and to today's video where we will be exploring the element of water. So we are actually right next to a real live river here, and you might hear it in the background just to emphasize that theme of water. So this is the fourth video in our 4-week series where we explore the elements fusing astrology with yoga. So the element of water is very much connected to our emotions, our creativity, our relationships, and our more sensitive side. So today we're going to work with Yin Yoga, which is a slower paced yoga that really helps us dive deeper into our physical sensations as well as emotions. And it allows us to work with fascia, which is a very sensitive fabric in our muscles that holds a lot of emotional and physical tension, but doesn't often get that much attention in our daily routines. So we'll focus especially on the hips and shoulders, which are areas that tend to hold a lot of tension that is related to our emotions. And other than that, I'd recommend you have a strap. You can also use a towel or any piece of cloth and a couple of blocks. And if you don't have any blocks, then go for a couple of books. All right? Let's get started. Go ahead and find your way onto your mat so that your back is facing the ground. Extend your legs for a moment here. Just let the body land on the ground. Let your attention land here also. And then slowly begin to walk the feet in slightly and bring them to center as the soles of the feet touch. Allow the knees and the hips to grow heavy. If you happen to tighten up a lot in the groin region, in the hip region, then go ahead and grab your blocks or your books and place one on either side of your hips and the outer thighs. So you're in a nice supported position. You can also place them underneath your knees if you'd like to go a little wider. And just relief. So in Yin Yoga we hold the poses between 3 and 5 minutes. So make sure that you're comfortable and you feel like you can hold this pose. So it needs to feel sustainable. And take this opportunity to tune into your breath also, noticing it enter the body and noticing it leave the body as you inhale and exhale. And if your mind starts to wander, come back to your breath, come back to the weight of your body, and sink in a little deeper. And as you relax into the pose, you might start feeling your lower abdomen region also growing heavier, and feel it melting down to the side as you release here. And take a few more deep breaths here. See if you can sink into the pose a little more. And see if you can observe how your mind and your body are beginning to grow a little bit more still, a little bit more quiet. And then slowly start to remove your blocks if you have them. And hug your knees into the chest. You can stay still or you can gently sway side to side. This is very nice to release that the lumbar spine and also at the front of the hips. And then from here, place your right foot down, and we're going to grab the outside edge of the left foot, and we're going to kick that up to the ceiling. You can also grab your big toe with your middle and index finger. If this doesn't feel accessible, then go ahead and grab your strap or your piece of cloth and wrap it around the balls of your feet, and then place the strap in one hand and just rest in this pose. So we're in half happy baby here. And the idea is to let the ankle dangle above the knee. And we're going to use the weight of the leg to help us sink deeper into the pose. And then if you want to, you can release the bottom leg. You can keep it slightly bent out to the side, or just stay with it with the knee up and the foot on the ground, just choosing your variation. And remember, we're going to hold this pose for a few minutes. So if you feel like it's already tightening up, go ahead and grab your strap and loosen up the dynamic a little. Make sure you feel comfortable and relaxed. And if at any point you feel like you need to make some adjustments, maybe with the bottom leg, go ahead and do so. And last few deep breaths. And exhale, release. Widen the distance between your feet and just let the knees drop in one at a time. So a kind of windshield wiping here with the knees. And hopefully you should feel a nice sense of space and relief across your left hip, your left groin region, maybe even slightly into the lower abdomen. And then go ahead and prepare yourself to do the same on the other side. So either grabbing the outside edge, big toe, or using your strap in this pose. Keep the heel, the ankle roughly above the knee, and just let the leg wave. If you want, you can keep your left leg where it is. You can let the knee drop down to the side, maybe extend it, finding your variation. And remember, if your mind wanders, come back to your breath. Come back to the physical sensations of this pose. And just a few more deep breaths. And then release. Widen the stance between the feet and windshield wipe with your knees. And then from here, go ahead and lie down to one side. And gently use your hands to help you prop yourself up. To come onto all fours. And then from here, what you're going to do is you're going to start extending the arms out in front of you. And then we're going to bring the forehead towards the mat. If your forehead doesn't reach the mat, then you can use a block here. And even if it does reach the mat, maybe use a block just so you can make yourself feel supported. So you can comfortably hold this pose for a few minutes. And this pose is called Anahatasana, heart melting pose. So really let your heart weigh heavy. And imagine all the toxins, all the emotional tensions starting to move towards the center of your spine. And imagine them sliding down the spine, through the heart, through the shoulders, all the way through the neck and the head, and out of the forehead into the ground. Allow yourself to release in this pose. And check in on your shoulders, on your arms. Notice if you're pushing them too far. Maybe invite a gentle bend at the elbow here. And stay with the breath. Sink in a little deeper on your exhales. And let the heart wave just a little bit more. Feel the back body opening as you drop your chest. And then slowly inhale and start to walk yourself back up. And take your block to the side. And from here what we're going to do is we're going to place the left knee behind the left wrist. And we're going to start to walk the foot out so we can increase the angle at our knee. And flex the front foot to make sure that your knee is supported. So in this case, it's the left foot. And then we're going to bring the fingertips to the side of the body. We're going to lengthen the spine. And as you exhale, fold forwards. And remember, you can bring your forehead to the mat. You can bring it to a block. And if your hips are a little tight here, a little high, you can also place a block underneath your left hip. If this pose is just not working today, then what you can also do is go ahead and lie down on your back, placing your right foot on the floor and the left foot over the right knee. And then you can keep the right foot on the floor, or you can hug behind right knee or in front of it, choosing the variation for you. And wherever you are, take your time to make the right adjustments so you can just melt yourself into the pose. And as you melt, try to keep your hips even. Imagine they're equally weighted towards the ground. And if any intense thoughts, feelings or sensations come up here, treat them as guests in your house. Allow them to come, to take their time, but understand that they will also go. And then go ahead and start to ease your way out of the pose, removing any props you're using. And align your left knee with the right. Take a moment to wiggle out the hips, maybe circle forward over the shoulders to release at that region also. And circle the other way. And then bringing the right knee behind the right wrist and walking the foot out to the side to increase the angle at the knee. And if you did this hip opener with your back on the ground in a reclined position, then go ahead and do the same thing but with the other leg. And make sure to make use of the props you need here to support both your head and hips. And then relax into the pose. And remember to be gentle with yourself. The hips are a region that hold a lot of emotions, a lot of memories, and even trauma. It's sometimes also referred to as the breakup pose, because when you go through that kind of process, a lot of those emotions will be held in this region. So just soften into it. Take deep breaths whenever slightly more challenging feelings come up. And take a few deep breaths just before we move out of the pose. And slowly start to make your way up, setting your props aside. And then align the knees, and again, wiggle them out, maybe circle them a little bit here. And then come to lie down on your back again. Bring your feet to the ground and bring them in line with the hips and as close to the buttocks as possible. And then what you're going to do here is you're going to lift up your lumbar spine, coming into a bridge pose, and you're going to place the block underneath. So you can have it at the lowest setting, you can have it at the mid setting, or even at the highest setting. So choosing the variation that feels comfortable, that feels sustainable, and allowing yourself to just release the weight of your lumbar spine onto the block. And maybe even visualize all of your worries, frustrations, and tensions moving into the block. So it's supporting you physically and emotionally. And if you begin to wonder, use your breath to anchor yourself here. To anchor yourself in the weight of your body. And slowly begin to move that block out of the way. Hug your knees into the chest. And stay still or gently rock side to side. And feeling a nice sense of space you've just generated across your lower spine. And then go ahead and extend one leg at a time, coming into your Shavasana, allowing the legs to widen, the feet to drop to the side. And let your arms grow heavy beside the body also. Allow the shoulders to roll open and drop towards the ground. And feel the skin of your face and let it soften. Let the jaw soften. And feel the skin around your collarbones and shoulders and let it soften. Let the muscles running down the arms all the way into the fingers. Let them soften. And tap into that sense of silence and quietness that you've generated throughout your practice. And see if you can just rest in that, in the awareness of your stillness. And if you have the time, go ahead and pause this video and enjoy your Shavasana as long as feels good for you. Otherwise, begin to move your toes, your fingers. Start to deepen your breath. And circle through the ankles, through the wrists. And gently sway your head side to side. Releasing the neck, so massaging your head. And then stretch your arms overhead as if you are just waking up. And slowly come to lie down on one side. Scan your body quickly to notice the sensations, how you've evolved in that aspect throughout your practice. And then slowly prop yourself up and find a comfortable seated position. And then roll the shoulders, close the eyes. And what we're going to do is we're going to close the practice with a single hum, and we're going to place the thumbs over the ears and the hands over the eyes. And we're going to inhale here, and as you exhale, just hum it out. And then release. And we finished our practice here. Namaste. Thank you very much for joining me here today. And if you've enjoyed this video, go ahead and click the like button below. And take a moment to subscribe to my channel also, so I can keep you updated for the next videos. Alright, see you next time.